HSBC is hosting a new flagship investor conference this week, which is replacing the marquee event that used to be run by Credit Suisse. Do you feel any pressure hosting what was such a landmark event?
Well, thank you for having me today. Look, it's a privilege for us to be able to host this event, which is really about bringing investors and corporates together. And we're doing it at an unprecedented scale. We will have over 2,500 investors, over 300 corporates, 5,000 plus meetings in the diary now for people across one-on-one meetings in the diary for everybody to sit down and connect. We are excited. It's a privilege for us to be able to hold this, and we think it's going to be a fantastic conference.
And what is the theme for this year's summit?
So it's about making connections. So you've got folks on the conference from Asia, from the European Union, from the US, from mainland China, from Southeast Asia, etc., all coming together to talk about opportunities, challenges that they have.
Well, a lot of attention today has been placed around the economy of mainland China with economic slowdown, deflation, the property crisis, to name a few. What are you seeing in the region, though? What are the opportunities in Southeast Asia or India, for example?
So let me start with Southeast Asia. It's home to 600 million people, 4 trillion economy. We are present in 6 of the largest markets in Southeast Asia. We are seeing a significant increase in presence in manufacturing, and we're also seeing a significant increase in the impact that technology is having on financial services, but more broadly on economic ecosystems. So what does that mean? Effectively, we are seeing Western and Asian enterprises putting more manufacturing capacity into Vietnam, into Indonesia, into Malaysia, Thailand, for example. A lot more companies coming into Singapore to set up the regional treasury centers to service ASEAN as a market. So we bank today 2,000 startups in India. Roughly 50% of the unicorns in India bank with HSBC. So one of the top 5 EV manufacturers in China now banks with us in 23 other markets globally. So when you think about the China business that HSBC does, it's not just about what we do in China itself, it's what we do for Chinese enterprises outside of China as well.
Right. Well, Hong Kong is known to be the bridge to mainland China. What do you think about Hong Kong being a bridge to, perhaps, as you said, service Chinese companies to expand in Southeast Asia and other regions? And does Hong Kong still have a role in that?
Well, absolutely. I think Hong Kong remains a key super connector, if I could call it that, for the world with the mainland economy and vice versa. So, but equally, if you think about foreign capital that's looking to go into China, that tends to come to Hong Kong first before it goes in, or you'll set up your research team here and then you'll bring in people who will execute on the research that you've done and invest into.
And speaking to your clients or people that you work with, are they at all concerned about China's situation right now? There are great companies coming from China, but then how are the current headwinds impacting your ability to do business right now?
I think there are headwinds in certain sectors. The property market or the real estate sector certainly has headwinds, but we do feel that in the context of the wider China economy, there are tremendous opportunities.
Could you tell me a little bit more about, for example, central bank digital currencies, with HSBC being one of the main banks on the government's current pilot program?
So we are very excited about central bank digital currencies, or CBDCs as they're referred to. The real use case that we think is very exciting is when it comes to cross-border payments, particularly for wholesale clients, or for anything from small to medium enterprises to large corporates that want to settle across borders. The ability to do that through a CBDC would allow for faster settlement, less cost, greater transparency. So we are very excited by that.
A lot of foreigners are finding problem with making payments in China because they don't have as easy access to Alipay or WeChat Pay. Are you looking into what opportunities you could do within mainland?
Yes, we are. So, I mean, I for example, have my ECNY account, which I can top up using my account in Hong Kong. So I do certainly do that when I travel to China. But you can, we are exploring other ways in which to make it easier for foreigners as they travel through China, whether on holiday or work.
Mm.
Yeah.
Just pivoting to another topic now. Interest rate cuts has obviously been a big, it's just been big, right?
Yeah.
With the expected cuts at some point this year, do you think this will present any new challenges for your bank or opportunities?
So it's any move in interest rates is both a challenge and an opportunity. We expect that in June this year, the Fed will start to cut rates by, the expectation is 25 basis points in June, followed by another 2 cuts of 25 basis points each this year and a similar sized of cuts next year.
Last year, HSBC agreed to buy Citigroup's retail wealth portfolio. How do you hope to continue to grow that business?
What Citibank or the acquisition of Citibank's wealth business does is it gives us both customers and people to scale that up on an ongoing basis. And we think that with our brand, with the product capability that we have with these customers and the people that we bring on, we should be able to significantly grow the value of the franchise.
Do you have a timeline in mind, or are you hoping to expand headcount this year?
We are continuing to expand headcount in China, so through our aggregate businesses in China, but with a lot more focus on the wealth business itself.
Yeah. Just lastly on that, is wealth management the biggest kind of sector you see right now in terms of banking in China?
For growth for HSBC, I would say yes, because our businesses in the other parts of banking are far more mature. We've grown them over a number of years. Wealth is something we have focused on much more recently in the last few years.
Right. Yeah. And any final message, back to the summit, any final message you have for guests or for attendees about this upcoming conference?
Look, I think come visit, enjoy Hong Kong, meet the people who are at the summit, make the connections, and do give us feedback on how we're doing, because we're going to be doing this again in the years to come.